Simone de Beauvoir. How can marginalized groups achieve freedom and agency?
Simone de Beauvoir, born in Paris in 1908, was a philosopher, novelist, and essayist whose work laid the foundations for modern feminism. Raised in a bourgeois Catholic family, she lost her faith as a teenager and dedicated her life to intellectual pursuit. At the Sorbonne, she became the youngest person ever to pass the rigorous agrégation in philosophy. While her lifelong partnership with Sartre is famous, Beauvoir was a formidable independent thinker. Her novels won prestigious awards, but it was her massive treatise, The Second Sex, 1949, that revolutionized the understanding of gender. Beauvoir lived her philosophy, refusing marriage and motherhood to maintain her autonomy. Her work consistently bridges the gap between abstract concepts and the concrete realities of lived experience, particularly the experience of women in a male-dominated world.
The other.
In consciousness, the subject defines itself by distinguishing itself from objects.
To say I is to posit a not I.
Beauvoir argued that, historically, this duality was applied to gender. Man is defined as the subject, the absolute, the standard of humanity. Woman, in contrast, is defined relative to man. She is the other, the inessential as opposed to the essential. This marginalization is not merely a social inequality but an ontological degradation, trapping women in roles where they are viewed as objects to be acted upon rather than subjects who act. By identifying this structure, Beauvoir revealed how dominant groups maintain power by casting marginalized groups as a deviation from the norm. This concept became a critical tool for analyzing oppression across many contexts. Immanence versus transcendence. Beauvoir saw human existence as a conflict between two drives. Transcendence is the active, creative movement of the self into the future, engaging in projects and shaping the world. It is the hallmark of freedom, yet historically it was a domain reserved for men.
Immanence, by contrast, is a state of stagnation and repetition, where one is treated as a mere biological organism.
Historically, women were confined to immanence, trapped in domestic cycles and denied the projects that define human value. This confinement was often disguised as nature or destiny.
Beauvoir argued that a life restricted to immanence is a mutilated life. The struggle for liberation is thus the struggle for the right to transcendence, the right to be an active agent in history. Becoming a woman. Biological facts are often used to justify social roles, suggesting anatomy is destiny. Beauvoir radically challenged this with her famous declaration, "One is not born, but rather becomes, a woman." This shifts the focus from biology to socialization. While a female is born with specific traits, woman is a social construct, a product of upbringing and societal expectations. From childhood, girls are often taught to be passive and to please, while boys are encouraged toward independence. This process of becoming is an external imposition that limits freedom. By exposing gender as a constructed identity rather than an innate essence, Beauvoir opened the door for women to reject these scripts, implying that if woman is something made, it can also be unmade and remade. The Second Sex is the canonical text of second-wave feminism. Beauvoir's analysis of gender as a social construct anticipated modern gender theory and the work of Judith Butler. By applying existentialist ethics to the situation of women, she transformed the discussion of rights into a profound philosophical inquiry. Her memoirs provide a detailed history of 20th-century intellectual life, and her later work on the treatment of the elderly, the coming of age, broke new ground in social philosophy. She remains a symbol of intellectual independence, proving that philosophy is a tool not just for understanding the world, but for changing it.